Hello, I am Gil Helmy, and today I will be disassembling my AR-15 A1 rifle and reassembling it while blindfolded. Along the way I will also be explaining what I am doing, since I do not have a videographer. So let us begin. First we need to clear the weapon. There is no round in the chamber. This is unsafe, so we can now begin. Put the bolt carrier assembly down. Put the charging handle down. And now we can go into the innards. Now some of you may be noting now that I'm not going to be taking apart the trigger assembly. I do not take apart the trigger assembly even when I'm working on this weapon myself. It's actually bad form to take apart the trigger assembly frequently because the pins in there need to be tight. If they are not tight, then they will start coming loose and falling apart. You only take apart the trigger assembly when something is actually broken in there, or the carbon buildup is so bad that you have to. And since neither is the case, because I maintain this weapon quite well, I do not need to do that. Now that we've taken apart the main part of it, and got the charging handles and the buttstock spring and the bolt carrier assembly out, we'll work on the bolt carrier assembly. First we need to, using our hands, find the spring, pin, and gently pull out the pin. And we need to set it down in front of us so that we do not lose the pin, because we have to remember exactly where we set every part. The firing pin. Oh, now we need to put that forward. And finally, the last part of the bolt has been disassembled. Now, this is a fully disassembled AR-15, as fully as any amateur should ever disassemble it. I'm not going to go into the whole disassembly, because that gets to be quite difficult even with sight. This is just a basic field stripping of the AR-15. Now, putting it back together. We need to remember which side the large hole of this device is on. When we find the large hole, we need to put it back into the bolt carrier in such a manner that it lines up with this hole here. Once we do that, this is why you always remember where you set everything. Set it down right here, I believe. Here it is. You put this in. Of course, we put it in sideways. Oop, did I not get the... Oh, there's the hole. Oh, where's the hole? There's the hole. I think that's the wrong hole, though. Doesn't feel right. Nope, that's the small hole. There we go. Ah, that's the wrong hole again. I think I'm passing it. Okay, so we pulled this back out so we can find the hole again. There it is. Make sure it's the large hole this time. And line it up. You want to use your pinky because most people's fingers will not be able to get into it like this. Ah, this is the difficult part of the reassembly, because normally you would be, there we go, lining everything up. Don't forget to turn this bolt 90 degrees so that you can get in the firing pin, which is the next step. And the firing pin just fell in exactly as it should. We now put back in the holding pin that holds the firing pin in the bolt carrier. Check to make sure it's correct. Now we're ready to put the charging handle back in. Well, before we put the charging handle back in, let's put the spring back in, along with the stock. There we go. Oops. There we go. And now the spring is back into place. Now we take the bolt carrier and we take the charging handle. Make sure the bolt is out. Pull the charging handle out until we can get, there we go, until it reaches the end, and then you put it back in like this. Make sure it's tight and secure. Make sure you pull out the pin that was originally holding it. And now it is fully reassembled. We'll do a functions check. And that means that it is fully assembled. Back on safety. Clear the weapon. Use your finger to check to make sure there's no brass in there. Standard safety. Put it to fire. Clear the weapon. Make sure it can't go back on safety. And that is how you disassemble and reassemble an AR-15 M16 type rifle while blindfolded.